Hi everybody, this is a response video to the 1491's PSA, and then I have a response to their response video. Everybody knows how I feel about it. I got some messages from my friends on Facebook and stuff, and they're like, why are you having such a venomous attack, and are you really joking around, or are you making fun, or what are you doing? This is how I honestly and truly feel. It's a terrible fucking video. I lost all respect and support I have for the 1491's, and they do some funny, awesome, groundbreaking shit. They do some amazing stuff. Like it's awesome. What they did was really cool before this video came along. And this video came along. What can I say? It's terrible. It's really, the arrogance is shown right after the video. I mean, the response video really dedicates their arrogance onto the issue. And really lack of understanding of how to properly use blackface. You can use blackface. You'll get a whole shitload of people saying you can't use blackface. There are parallels between blackface and mascotting of indigenous peoples here in North America. And none of those parallels are really drawn in the video at all. The first part of the video was like, it was cool. I liked it. It was kind of funny, you know, a white person talking to other white people, telling them what to avoid, bringing in hipsters and all that jazz. I liked it. Then they introduced blackface, and the second they introduced blackface, I was like, huh, where is this going? Like, what do they plan on doing with this? And then nothing. They did nothing with it. They fucking threw a watermelon at the dude, and they threw a piece of alcohol with the dude. And unless you're a person of color who's done their history, who's done their work and understanding Indigenous oppression, or if you're an Indigenous person yourself who understands mascotting and the parallels, it's great. You can see the parallels itself. But there's a whole fucking group of people within people of color that have no clue about that whatsoever. They don't. It wasn't done in a way that could educate people. And I'm not saying you should spoon feed the answer to people, but in this case, in what you're doing with blackface, you better have the parallels drawn out. Because that image there was to oppress black people. I mean, even Birth of a Nation, this amazing movie about slavery, was all done in fucking blackface. What most people don't know, don't really know Hollywood history, is they did the same thing with Native people, using like shoe polish. But blackface itself, and the manner that it's used, was completely fucking degrading. The parallels that you could have with blackface and actually using it with us when we're being mascotted by belligerent sports fans, is to have a person dressed as blackface doing the same shit that a person that would be going to a hockey game or a football game or a baseball game. And that's just fucking, that's drinking. That's, you know, not saying this for all sports fans. So if you're a sports fan out there, I apologize. But being like the asshole who shouts out loud things, drinks way too much, is getting after the other team, is fighting with amongst themselves, just stupid shit. You know, fucking beer pong before a sports game. Dressing up before the sports game. As blackface, you know? But not like as blackface carrying out the oppressive fucking stereotypes that white filmmakers made and that white people were doing back in the days of black and white. You know, like the old Minstrel series. It pisses me off so much because it could have been so much more better. But it wasn't. You know, when I look at that video and I see that moment of blackface, I'm like, huh. When they threw that fucking watermelon at the dude and he catches it, what I'm seeing is back in like the 40s and 50s and before then, when they would use these black people who were malnourished or who were poor, and they would do these watermelon races with them, captured on video and played in theaters that only people of privilege could watch. And it was just to make fun and ridicule this nation, you know, across the nation. I see our people laughing at the catching of the watermelon. And I see white people from like a long time ago when it was okay to be racist, to mug and to lynch black people, laughing at that same joke. The alcohol. The same thing. But I see our people laughing at that image of a black person, of blackface, not really drawing the parallels between the two. And some are, and some aren't. And that's what really infuriated me about it. It's like you watch the movie Bamboozled from Spike Lee, got this amazing idea, didn't execute it properly. You went all fucking carrot top with it because what you did was you turned it into a fucking prop, and a really bad prop at that. And here's your indicator of this. Here's your indicator that people of color didn't really get it because you had to make a second video to explain your first video. And in the second video, I guess to add dramatic fucking emphasis or whatever, you made it all black and white. You had a voiceover to try to emphasize what really you were saying. If you're a person of color and you saw blackface and you were like, what the fuck is this? You're not going to want to listen to the person in the second video at all. But then they had the epiphany of this girl who was half black, half native. Talking about, like, yeah, I don't have a problem with native being mascotted, but I have a problem with blackface being mascotted. That's cool. But what you've done then is you've tokenized this one girl's epiphany. And you're using that to sell and further strengthen your point of what you're trying to say. What you missed in the first video, you're then trying to make up in the second video. And that's what bothered me. That totally angered me even more because now you're doing the tactics, or using the tactics, utilizing the tactics of a person who's born into privilege against us. And I get this. I get mad and I get angry and I begin to doubt when I'm having a conversation about oppression with Indigenous, like the Indigenous oppression with a person of privilege, you know, whatever it is. Let's say white person. And they say, oh, well, I have a friend who doesn't think the same as you, who is also Blackfoot and Dene. That's a derailing technique. And the best thing about this derailing technique, it's not introspective. You don't have to look at yourself. You just disempower what they're bringing up. And at the same time, that person that you're bringing into the conversation doesn't have to be real at all, whatsoever. Nor do you give that person the ability to speak for themselves. It's like mascotting a mascot again. And I tried talking to them about it. Like I fucking Googled, I texted Ryan and I texted Dallas. And I was like, do you think you could have used this in a little bit of a better way? And then get any response. Me and Dallas had to talk about it. They're standing by their video. They're going to stand by it. They have every, I guess, artistic right to. I'm no longer a fan. Sad to say. I don't think I could be a fan until they retract the video. I hate when we mascot. I hate when we're being mascotted. I hate when we're mascotting ourselves. And it bothers me when we are mascotting other people. Because it does take away from their voice. And I say this, I actually dressed up as Machete like last year. Thinking I loved the movie, but I didn't realize that I was actually placating into this. And it's terrible. It's a really terrible thing to do. But yeah, with that being said, mascotting people, using a person from that side of the argument, not giving them a chance to answer. I have a white person, believe it or not, that is right here with me. So, being a white male, how do you feel about the things I just said? How do you feel about a white person using blackface? And how do you feel about whether or not blackface was misrepresented or misused or not? How do you feel about that?
Well,